everybody, and welcome back to Skipper Sandra. And I'm your skipper, Sandra. How's it going? I hope you had a great week, and I am so excited to talk to you today. So I've been asked lately what it is that I carry with me, right? So when we go around and we're going traveling with our stuff, what do we take with us as far as tools? And how do we take those tools? And why do we take those tools? And all of those questions that come along with it. Well, I'm going to talk to you about that in specific, because as newer crocheters, sometimes we're like, okay, so do I need to take everything with me, or do I just take a few things with me? What's really important, what's not important? For the most part, you're going to figure that out on your own as you crochet more and travel more with your crocheting. For those of us who have been crocheting for a while, sometimes we just, well, we've got all those favorite things and we have our favorite bag and it just gets accumulating stuff. Kind of like the never ending or the bag of forever holding of mom, right? Mom has everything, including the kitchen sink. Well, we do that with crocheting too. So we kind of have to narrow it down. We want to be good to ourselves and be good to our bodies. And part of that is not overloading ourselves with things we don't need, okay? Or we don't use. So a way of doing that is just to kind of evaluate what it is you're doing. So on any given project, I was going to say day, but on any given project, I really evaluate what is it that I need. And sometimes I don't take everything you're going to be seeing, but in general, this is like a full slate. So this is probably a project that's a little on the complicated side and has a lot going on with it. And this is what I would take with me. Now, bear in mind, we're not going to be talking about yarn. We're not going to be talking about the yarn bag itself. We're not going to be talking about the project or that kind of thing. We're just going to be talking about those tools, those little tools that help make the project a little more enjoyable, quite frankly, because if you're not having to search out and play search and seizure to try to find something, it always makes it so much funner. Even if it's in the house, if you don't have to get up 15 times to go get something from your yarn room, which if you have one, I want to see it. But if you have, whatever room that it is that you have it in, or cubby or box, if you have all these tools just laying around, it gets uncomfortable to have to keep searching for it. So this is a great way to just keep it all condensed in one place when it comes to your project. And usually I keep all of these with each project that I'm working on. So I have several replicas of this, and you'll understand here when we talk about it in a minute. And kind of also feeds into my addictions. I have several of them. We'll be talking about it. Hi, I'm Skipper Sandra. I'm a crochetaholic in every facet. Okay, so let's get to it. So number one, what do I keep everything in, right? I keep it in a notions bag. And can you even imagine where I might have gotten this lovely little creature? Well, if I flip the bag over, you'll see the little tag and it says Slip Stitch Studios. I love you ladies. I love these bags. They're just so great. They happen to have, and I'm sure there's probably other ones that are really good too, but these really have a great design. They have this gusset so it stands flat. So if you're traveling in the car, and believe me, I know this because I've done it, right? So if you're traveling in a car and it's sitting next to you, it won't tend to fall over. It keeps things nice and neat. It's lined, as you can see. It's fully lined. And it has an extra layer in the middle that keeps it from allowing scissors and needles and things or your crochet hook itself to punch through. Not saying it can't, absolutely, but it will deter that from happening, which is really good because you don't want to lose anything. But we're going to stop that from happening anyway. But this is one of them, and just so that you know, I have another one. My daughter Kathy got me this one, and this is from the Harry Potter collection. This is the Slytherin bag. This is part of my Halloween collection. Yes, I have seasons and holidays for my bags. I told you, I'm not lying when I tell you that I'm addicted to crocheting and everything that goes with it. So yes, I have another bag. But I want you to know, you don't have to have, I would recommend it, but you don't, and by the way, I don't get paid by them, okay? I endorse them because I think they're that great. And the company has been wonderful. So I really like them, and that's the only reason I tout them. and I haven't been proven wrong, or I haven't been proven yet that there's another bag that's better. How's that for them apples? Anyway, but you don't have to use them if you're just starting out. This is from, so if you saw my video on the yarn crawl from 2019, the Rose City yarn crawl, I got these. These are recycled bags. These are great, aren't they? And they are waterproof, so to speak. The seam, I mean, I'm sure water can get through the seams and through the zipper, but they're plastic, so it'll be a little more resistant. And this is from Blue Q Bags, and I will put the links for both Slip Stitch and Blue Q bags down below. They've got a great, I've got this big octopus one. I love it. It's a tote, and we went, yeah, okay, I'm getting off subject. Anyway, love it. It's super cute. It's not that big, so for some of my smaller projects, I might even use this, okay? So there's that. And this is another little bag. Isn't this cute? So just a little canvas bag again with a little zipper. I always recommend that you use them with zippers or a drawstring, something that will seal it, because you don't want your tools and things to go flying around your bag, because it can ruin your yarn and your project, and you don't want that to happen, or you can lose them, which is even worse. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine losing one of my hooks. Not a good thing. But this handy dandy little canvas bag came from Jimmy Bean Wools. So from one of the subscription boxes, they had some of these little bags come with them. And I think this was the summer one. I can't remember. But anyway, I've kept all of them because they make great little bags. Again, for smaller projects when I just need a few little tools. They work great, and you know, they're from Jimmy Beans, and that's another great company. I'll have their link down below. I love them too. They're great. Check out their yarn. Wonderful customer service. Jimmy Beans. So what I'm saying is you can use anything. You can even use Ziploc baggies, which, by the way, speaking of, I use. So as you can see, I have yarn in here. These are cuttings from one of my latest projects. And what I did is I keep these are the snack size. Sandwich is too big. You really, unless you're using really super chunky yarn and cutting a lot, you're not going to really need it. Generally speaking, the snack size works great, okay? If you're looking for a reference. These work great, but this is a great place for you to put all of your cuttings, so we're not leaving trash everywhere. We're being environmentally sound. Also, it's not good for the birds to get a hold of all of our little cuttings, because it really can hurt them. So we want to make sure we're not leaving them everywhere where the birds can get to them. So this is really important, that we clean up after ourselves and be responsible for what's going on around us. But another thing that this also does for us, so I keep with me in all of my bags and on the hook card. And these are mine, these are my design. I'm actually working on updating them. But the on the hook cards allow for putting down notes for who you're making it for, sizes, patterns, where you got the pattern from, the color of the yarn, the lot number, the yarn brand, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And it even has room for notes, because sometimes I tend to change patterns. I don't know if you remember from the yarn crawl, I'm sure you saw it there. I have this asymmetrical scarf that I made, and the original pattern called for just double crochets all the way down, right? That's all it had. But the yarn itself inspired me, and I thought, hey, this reminds me of a sunrise. So I added an element, it was with puff stitches, as if it were a sunrise. So again, this is a great way to remind me. And now back to this, these cuttings I can use to attach to the card once it's done to remind me, hey, I may have written down the color, but now I have an actual touchy-feely looky of the yarn itself. And especially if I'm trying to match the color, it's always great to have the color with you. It's a small card. They go together. They go in your bag. Look at that. Fits beautifully. Okay? And there you go. So with that card, of course, if you're going to take notes, you need a pencil. I happen to like mechanical pencils because I can tuck the lead in, and it's not going to stain or ruin any of my stuff in here. And also because this has a great eraser. So that way I can doodle away. I've used those cards to share my information with people I've met and become friends with, or so they can give me their information or take notes on LYS that I've gone to. So there's all kinds of things that you can use that card for other than just yarn, but let's face it, that's what we're going to use it for, yarn. But so pencil goes in there. Of course, our hook. Now notice this is a bamboo hook. And remember, if from the last video where we talked about hooks, I tend to really like the bamboo wooden hooks, natural fiber type hooks. And the great thing about them is if it gets a little, I get a new hook. It's the first time I'm using the hook and I notice that the edge is a little too sharp for me. I also carry a small emery board. That way, say I've dropped it, and I've done this where I've dropped it and it kind of gets dinged a little bit, I can then smooth out the edge. I can just file it a little bit, just like your nail, and it fixes that, and there you go, you're off and running. If it's bamboo, bamboo tends to be fibrous, so if it chips a little bit, you can, again, file this down, and it works great. Or if you happen to get a set that's not of the greatest quality, you can kind of shape it a little bit better to your liking. So I always carry an emery board, and besides that, it makes great for, you know, your own nails if they get chipped. But we use the hook and we put that in the bag next. Emery board, kind of small. So what I keep that in is I started out with an Altoids can. The Altoids can is not very big. If you don't like Altoids, that's okay. I'm sure you can find somebody, a friend, family, co-worker, neighbor, somebody who likes Altoids, okay? I happen to like Altoids. I happen to like the wintergreen, and I try to recycle, reuse, and so this was great because I can have my mints and I have somewhere to put my itty bitty teeny weeny little stuff in. So like that emery board goes right in there. Fits just great. Now, I got this one too. Remind you of anything? Guess where I got this? A beautiful little can. Yep, Slip Stitch Studios. So their bags, generally speaking, they will all have these tins. However, I will say that they are larger than the Altoids, okay, which makes it really nice. But if you're using a smaller bag like this one, you might have a little bit of a challenge. So an Altoids can may be a little bit better, okay? I'm just putting it out there. I love these. I'm not disparaging them at all, but just, you know, the difference in sizes can affect what you're going to want to use. So back to what we put in there. So I put my emery board. The other thing that I always carry is a tape measure, right? I happen to really like the retractable ones. So some of you don't care, you'll use the tape measures. For me, those that you have to wind them up and put the little, I always lose something, right? So I have these retractable ones. They keep nice and neat. Once I've used it, I just hit the button and it puts itself away. I don't have to worry about it. So I put these in my little can as well. Next thing I keep in there is, yes, a yarn needle. Can you see that? Because, dare I say it, we all have to weave in our ends. Yes, we have to do it. I hate it, but we have to. So with these beauties, not very big, you can pop that into your yarn in your little Altoids can. There you go. Another thing I keep in there are scissors. Now, as you can see, these are the folding scissors. I much prefer folding scissors, and I'll tell you why. First off, these are TSA approved, right? But because they fold, they're not going to puncture my back if they're loose. They're not going to get caught on any of my projects. They're not going to cut my yarn accidentally when they're folded out. And they stay nice and neat and tidy. I don't have this big pokey thing. I don't have to worry about that if I put my hand in there, I'm going to poke myself. Believe me, if it can be done, I will do it. Here again, like I told you before, there's a reason why my parents didn't name me Grace. So I popped out puppies right into my Altoids can as well. See? Next, what goes into my Altoids can are stitch markers. Now these again are mine design, and they have little shells on them. But these are mine, and I have my stitch markers I always carry at least 5. Don't ask me why, I just do. It seems to be a good number when I'm working with projects as to what size to use. So I pop those in, there are my stitch markers. I also carry with me 2 different size of row counters, right? So these are the manual row counters. And the reason I love these is A, batteries don't run out. B, so you know these aren't the ones I usually carry. The new ones I usually carry kind of look like stitch markers because I like to be able to clip them either to the project itself, to, like for instance, the little string on my bag, or to the yarn bag that I'm using. So one or the other or whatever, these are the ones that I use, okay? So these are great, and they work fabulous. The reason I will use 2 different ones is because one I'll use for, and I'm just pointing one out, one I'll use say for repeat counts, and the other one I'll use for the rows. So it depends. It's not always just the stitch count. So for instance, sometimes you need to repeat rows 1 through 5 or 3 through 4 7 times. So I can, as I'm moving through 3 through 4, I can mark those here, and this will let me know, is it the first time I've done it, the second time I've done it, the third time I've done it, the 7th time I've done it. So that's why I always keep 2 of them, because it helps in keeping those track of those. Those go in there too. Close this up. Ta-da! All nice and neat, and you can pop that puppy right into your bag, and you're not going to lose any of those small little things. Now, those are standard, okay? I always carry those, and those for any crocheter are pretty standard, good stuff for you to carry, right? Extra stuff that I carry with me because of who I am. So I don't know about you, but for me, my lips get chapped, so I always have a chapstick with me. So I pop that into my bag, and my hands tend to get dry, so I always carry a little lotion with me. And I probably shouldn't show the labels. I always carry a little lotion. I'll go over to the travel section and buy like the hand lotions just when I start running out, but so when I go to hotels, I also bring them with me if I haven't used them, because again, they really help out. They're a great little size. This is 1 fluid ounce. Now remember, if you're going through TSA, nothing that's in here so far you have to worry about sending separately, okay? Not the chapstick because it's a solid. But this, the lotion, you will have to put into that Ziploc baggie. Just a reminder, okay? Then you can put it back into your bag if you want to. But that may be something you may want to, consider if you're traveling via airplane, okay? But I pop that into my bag, and the last thing that I carry with me, and this is again depending on the project. So I wear contacts, okay? And then when I'm not wearing contacts, I wear glasses. If I'm wearing glasses, I don't need any help. I can see small. I use my, the embroidery floss. Remember the handkerchief that I made, the edging I made on that handkerchief for the wedding, for a friend's wedding? That, I can do that with, that was made with embroidery floss, linen embroidery floss. Didn't need to use glasses of any kind when I wasn't wearing my contacts. If I'm wearing contacts, sometimes if it gets really small, or I'm using crochet thread, like a size 30, then we're starting to get a little small, or I'm crocheting with quilter's thread. And yes, I have done that too to make lace. So the smaller I go, I need a little help. These are just dollar store reader glasses. And the reason I do that is because if they get mangled, it's okay. So these are just dollar store reader glasses that I pop into that bag. They're usually nice and tiny. I don't have to worry if they get crushed. Zip it up, and guess what, guys? I'm off and running, okay? I've got everything I need now. I can pop this into my yarn bag with my yarn and my pattern, and I'm off. I'm done, right? If you print your patterns, if you keep your patterns on your phone or on an iPad or a tablet, then you have it there. But there you go. You're off and running. You're nice and neat, and it looks cute, and it's fun, and it's friendly. Can't go wrong. So this is what I do. I'll have links to all of these types of products down below. So check those out. If you have any comments or questions, or if there's anything in particular you'd like to see or talk about, let me know in the comments. Or better yet, why don't you head on over to my Facebook account and we can talk there. I'd love to meet you and talk with you. That said, don't forget to hit the like if you liked it. I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe and the little bell, because in hitting the bell, you'll be reminded when the next time a video comes out. All right, everyone, I hope you have a great week. See you next week. And as always, keep on stitching. Bye-bye from Skipper Sandra.